All right, let's talk about artificial intelligence in the classroom. We're going to move past all the hype and really dig into how AI is changing, from just being a simple tool to becoming a real collaborator in how we teach and learn.
And let's just hit the ground running with a pretty powerful number. A recent McKinsey report found that AI tools could actually streamline about 20% of a teacher's day-to-day work.
Just think about that for a second. That's a fifth of the work week. What could you do with all that reclaimed time? And look, this isn't about replacing teachers, not at all. It's about shifting that precious time away from busy work and administrative tasks and putting it back where it really counts, guiding and inspiring students.
So where do we start? Well, let's look at the most immediate, practical application, thinking of AI as a kind of tireless, super efficient teaching assistant.
The real secret sauce here? It's all about crafting effective AI prompts. You can think of them as really specific instructions you give the AI to get exactly what you need. It saves you from that endless scrolling through online resources searching for the perfect idea.
I mean, just imagine how practical this is. You could instantly get a full week's worth of lesson plans for your specific grade level. Or you could brainstorm creative activities that work for all different kinds of learners, visual, auditory, you name it. Even just a quick 5-minute warm-up to get the class going, it's just a prompt away.
And this efficiency doesn't stop at lesson planning. It extends to assessments and all that admin work too. AI can help you draft constructive feedback on an essay, suggest a clear grading rubric for a new project, or even write that weekly newsletter to parents. These aren't small things, you know? They add up and can seriously reduce your workload.
Okay, but saving time is really just the beginning. AI's potential goes way beyond teacher efficiency. Now let's get to the really exciting part, how it can actually ignite student creativity.
This is where the whole perspective starts to shift in a really cool way. I love this point from digital learning coach Holly Clark. AI isn't just a tool for the teacher anymore. For students, it can provide that initial spark, that little nudge they need to get over the fear of a totally blank page.
So here's a fantastic, real-world example from a second-grade classroom. First, the teachers fed the AI some story ideas the students came up with. Then, the AI spits out a basic first draft. And from there, the students just take it and run with it. They add their own details, dialogue, even pictures. They completely transform that simple starting point into their own unique creation.
But we can take this even further. Now let's look at tools that are designed specifically to create these incredibly immersive, interactive learning experiences. We're moving beyond just generating text into true AI-powered storytelling.
Check out these two amazing paths to deeper learning. On one side, you've got a tool called Shadbot. It actually lets students have conversations with historical figures. They can ask questions and get answers that are right for that time period. And on the other side, you have interactive timelines, which lets them see visually how events in art, science, and politics are all connected. It's about building empathy and showing that history is this big, interconnected web. So let's peek under the hood for a sec. On the left, you've got your inputs. That's the student asking a question and all the historical data the system pulls from. This info feeds into two engines at once, one for the conversation and one for building that visual timeline, and the magic happens on the right, where the output combines both. So a student doesn't just get an answer, they get a conversation and a visual map of how that answer connects to everything else. It's a really sophisticated way to make learning feel alive. Of course, anytime you have tools this powerful, we have a huge responsibility to teach students how to use them with a critical eye. So that brings us to the necessary and sometimes pretty tricky ethical questions.
And it all really boils down to this one crucial question that every single one of us, educators, parents, students, has to ask. As we bring these technologies into our lives, can we actually trust them to be ethical?
Because we have to be aware of the pitfalls, right? An AI trained on biased data could just end up repeating harmful stereotypes. Then there are the huge questions about data privacy. How is student data being collected and kept safe? And on top of that, these tools can hallucinate. They can literally invent facts, which is a massive risk when you're talking about something like historical accuracy.
And that's exactly why AI literacy has to be so much more than just learning which buttons to push. It means we have to train students to question the technology itself, to scrutinize the cultural and historical assumptions that are baked right into its code. It turns AI from just a tool into a subject of critical thinking. And navigating all these challenges is absolutely essential, because knowing your way around AI is fast becoming a fundamental skill. It's about creating students who are truly ready for the future. And the numbers really back this up.
A 2024 report found that a staggering 66% of industry leaders would not hire someone who lacks AI skills. That's 2/3 of employers saying it's a deal breaker.
And that's the real kicker here. As Brian Johnsred from Adobe points out, having these skills can actually level the playing field. It allows a student fresh out of school to compete with and maybe even get chosen over a more seasoned professional. It's a massive differentiator that can open up incredible doors. So when you put it all together, what do you get? AI is not here to replace teachers. It's a partner. We've seen it grow from a time-saving assistant to a creative collaborator for students, and finally, into this critical challenge that we have to navigate with real wisdom.
So the final question isn't if AI will be part of education. It's already here. The real question is this: how are we, as educators, as students, as learners, going to choose to co-author the future of learning together?